This month, September, the most pivotal events will take place that will change the entire financial system. Welcome to the Freedom Culture. Here at the Freedom Culture, I like to discuss current events in the financial sector, this new digital economy, and also breaking down blockchain technology in the most understandable terms possible. And today, I want to talk about the biggest events that will accelerate the changes of the entire financial system. It is the beginning of September. We are approaching the fourth quarter of 2025, and September is loaded with economic turning points like inflation data, job reports, the Fed's decision on tax cuts, and also the possibility of a government shutdown. First, we have the Beige Book, which should be released by the time I put out this video, September 3rd. This is a survey that gives the Federal Reserve the greatest idea of the current state of the economy, reporting on jobs, wages, and also prices. This gives the Fed real-time data before making their interest rate decision. Following that, we have September 11th inflation data to consider. This CPI release will be the confirmation, the confirming data the Fed would need to cut rates or not. Then, of course, we have the big decision, September 17th, to cut or not to cut. And 90% of the market believes that the Fed already decided to cut interest rate. If they don't cut, then that'll be bad for the economy because rate cuts promotes job growth. And as reported in July, only 72,000 jobs was created, and that's 32,000 jobs short from expectation. And it's been going downwards. The reports for August was even worse, indicating that the job market is stalling.
We do have the data, and it is not good. 22,000 jobs created during the month of August. That is significantly lower than the 75,000 anticipated. Last month, 73,000 revised up to 79,000. So at this point, there's nothing surprising except the weakness in these numbers. I'm just looking to see some revisions popped up late here, but there's nothing more beyond what I told you. 22,000 jobs created, another 21,000 taken away from the prior 2 months of June and July. I'll get you more detail.
If they do cut, that wouldn't be good neither because inflation is still getting higher. The initial purpose of rate hikes was to get inflation down to a 2% level, flat. It doesn't seem like we're going to reach that goal. And plus, with the Big Beautiful Bill Act raising the debt ceiling up $5 trillion, we are now at a new level of $37 trillion of national debt. So essentially, on September 17th, the Federal Reserve is trying to figure what could be worse, not having a job to pay for inflationary prices, or keeping inflationary prices, but at least you got a job. And with the ongoing harassment that Jerome Powell has been facing from this current administration to cut interest rates down, he might just give them what they want this time. But the problem with that is inflation will get higher. Debt will continue to grow. You will pay more at the grocery store, and the dream of buying a home will be more distant than ever before. However, I think President Donald Trump has a trick up his sleeves for that. Trump is going to use cryptocurrency to fix the national debt crisis. It took me a little over a week to figure this out, but I'm gonna start with the Genius app requires 100% backing, stablecoins to be 100% backed by liquid assets like the US dollar or short-term treasuries. And it forces companies to publicly show that they're doing this. So when people buy crypto, hit sell, cash out into stablecoins, park their money there, it's the same as creating automatic demand for US government debt. Therefore, the debt goes down. So when crypto prices go up, a lot of people would hit sell to take profits, and that will convert into stable coins. Now, while you're holding your digital dollars in your crypto wallet, in the background is actually buying US government IOUs. So you're parking profits, simultaneously lending to Uncle Sam. Here's a clip of Representative French Hill speaking on this and also the Clarity Act.
A lot of people were talking about this, including Fed Governor Mickey Bowman. And Mickey Bowman said she called digital assets a seismic shift in the way we think about money, value, and the fabric of our financial system. She said that if the Fed is unable to adjust to this new technology, it will bypass the traditional banking system. What do you want to say to people who are worried that if the depositors flee to blockchain, the cheap source of bank funding disappears, and it has a real impact on the banks?
Well, I think banks will offer dollar-backed stablecoins as a new payment rail through their corporate treasury functions for businesses, and they'll offer it to consumers that have a demand for it. It's not widely accepted at the point of sale, so I think that's a long-term thoughtful position to take and think about the risk of that. But I anticipate a dollar-backed payment stablecoin being used mostly for cross-border trade. They don't pay interest. It's not meant to be a bank. It's a payment rail, like we use credit, debit, we send wire transfers, we use cash. A dollar-backed payment stablecoin is simply a new payment method, not a complete change in trying to make a stablecoin and turn a bank. Plus, those stablecoin issuers have to keep their assets in a bank or in treasury bills.
I love the idea, really, especially given what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said, and that is that it becomes a major purchaser of short-term treasury bills as a result of all of that. What do you make of an ECB?
The idea does seem very innovative to solve a problem. President Donald Trump has been hinting towards this direction in various clips for a while.
Maybe we'll pay off the $35 trillion in crypto. How about that? I'll write out a little piece of paper, 35 trillion crypto. We have no debt, right? That's what I like, right?
However, it's going to take a huge spike in the price of crypto in order for the significant amount of stablecoins needed to be minted to match the current level of the national debt, which is $37 trillion. Sounds a little bullish to me. And we also have the possibility of a government shutdown likely to happen on September 30th or October 1st. It seems to be a very volatile time approaching, but long-term bullish. So that's how I see the upcoming months in the fourth quarter. Very volatile, very interesting time. There's a lot of changes in the financial market. Keep up with me on the Freedom Culture. I like to keep you updated. Like, comment, subscribe, follow all my social channels. Hit the link below for my Patreon where I'll give you exclusive updates that I can't share on YouTube that you can possibly benefit from. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. My battery's about to die. I gotta go. Peace, love, respect. Take care of yourself. Later.